name's Amanda. I use they, them pronouns.
Hello, I'm Danny, pronouns he, him.
So we're representing Pride Alliance. The Pride Alliance leadership is about 6 people big. So we're speaking on behalf of a lot of people, I guess.
So we just want to say welcome to DGSOM at UCLA. We're going to tell you a little bit about the Pride Alliance, what we do, and why we enjoy being here so much. What do you love about being a student leader? I think in my experience here, I've really appreciated the support we've had from the faculty and the staff. For pretty much anything we want to do, there's always someone there to support us in our initiatives. It's also really great to see all of the students that we work with because all of them have unique talents and skills that really contribute to this whole collective movement to make our school a better place and to develop really great positions for all of us. And so being a leader and being a part of these organized efforts to really make massive improvements has been just a wonderful experience here, and I'm sure, I've just been really pleased with the work that we've done here.
Due to Pride Alliance. So I think like a number of things drew me to Pride Alliance. So most important of which I think was the social aspect of it. I feel like our queer community at DGSOM is really tight and very supportive. Some of my closest friends, or most of my closest friends, are in some way in Pride Alliance or in the queer community, including second years who have now moved on. But I think like something I'm really grateful for is the wonderful like mentorship and friendship from second years. So I think something that that challenged me, and I'm sure a lot of people, was moving into a new city and with a whole new group of friends, a whole new class and cohort. And it's always, I think it's difficult for anyone to transition to a new school. And then the queer people in my class, the other MS1s, and also MS2s who were part of Pride Alliance or in some way a mentor to me, made that transition a lot easier. So I mentioned that I use they, them pronouns, and I identify as non-binary. Part of the thing that made the transition hard was getting used to advocating for my own pronouns or to reassert my own pronouns. Pride Alliance and the leadership, the current MS2 leadership, created pronoun badges and distributed them to everyone who wanted them, which was most of the class, which was like really heartwarming to see. And they organized a talk from the main campus about pronouns and gender identity and expression, and it was just really amazing to see that support.
What are some of your favorite events that you've been a part of? In particular, with the Pride Alliance, I've really appreciated and grown fond of all the trans advocacy work here, especially in this last year. As we mentioned, AJ, who's been a great advocate, has worked really hard for the trans initiative, which, there are still plenty of things that need to be done. And it's great to be a part of the work that's been pushing things in the right direction. For example, we got to advocate at the UC Board of Regents meeting for preferred names on our ID badges, which has been a struggle for many places. And through those efforts, we are now able to have our own preferred names and our preferred names on our badges and also our white codes as well. But not only that, I've been able to go to trainings on trans-related healthcare. And I also got to observe a surgery where someone was going through a facial masculinization surgery. They were transitioning from female to male, and it was just a really wonderful experience to see what the transition is like from, a very surgical medical perspective, but also seeing how that translates in the clinic when you're just talking to someone one-on-one and learn about the psychology and also just the personal relations you can develop with someone. And through these experiences, going into medical school, I don't think I would have been as comfortable working with trans patients because I identify as cisgendered. But now with these experiences, I've learned a lot more about it and actually feel very comfortable working with these patients. And when I get into my clinical practice, I'm actually very excited because now I feel like I can adequately treat them and work with them and respond to their needs. So that's been a wonderful experience here.
And I think something else that is important to mention about Pride Alliance is that we have a lot of opportunities to improve or change either our curriculum or in some way impact the education of medical students or anyone in healthcare or anyone interested in LGBT health at all. So for example, every year Pride Alliance co-hosts so UCLA works with a number of other medical schools or medical and health schools in Southern California to co-host the SoCal LGBT Health Conference. So this conference is basically, it focuses on addressing LGBTQ health disparities and what we as future healthcare providers can do about it. So a lot of it focuses on just educating ourselves and others on how we can better care for queer and trans patients. So I felt like it was an amazing opportunity to be a part of, and it's something that will happen every year, and y'all might have a chance to do that as well. One more thing about education, so we also do have the ability to, I think Danny mentioned earlier that as an organization we are able to offer our input onto about the curriculum and how it addresses LGBTQ issues. So it's a pretty amazing opportunity to be able to speak as an organization or individually to give our feedback on what we would like to see changed in the curriculum or how we think it could be improved.
Yeah, and to jump on that, the overall school has been very supportive for our needs as a student body and our desires to be outstanding physicians, particularly when it relates to caring for LGBTQ people. And so, if we have a lecture and it could be phrased a certain way, or we think we could add something that adds a different perspective on LGBT healthcare, we can reach out to the faculty directly, or we can reach out to our faculty advisors, Dr. Dumont, one of them, to start a change and work on curriculum changes that are more appropriate and fitting for the needs of LGBTQ people here. And so it's really great that we have that power and autonomy to make these tangible changes and enact them quickly as well. So that's been wonderful to have here.
And I think there are a bunch of opportunities to either educate ourselves or others, not just through the SoCal LGBT conference that I mentioned, but also through there is a trans and non-binary health conference hosted at Ronald Reagan, which is one of the main UCLA hospitals here, and a lot of incredible faculty members and doctors spoke about how they are making changes in their own communities or their own practices to better provide care for queer and trans people. So I think Dr. Weimer was one of the hosts of the conference, I believe, and Dr. Weimer founded the Gender Health Clinic here, which is an amazing opportunity for, it's an amazing clinic where we can all learn about how to better provide healthcare for queer patients.
And something else that we at the Pride Alliance wanted to emphasize to you is that one of our goals or initiatives is to create a really supportive environment for all people, and in particular LGBT people. And so, it can be very daunting to, again, be in a new environment and not sure what the environment's going to be like. But know that we are here to support you and create an environment that's going to support you no matter what you want to do with your careers or anything else. Whether you choose to be in gender healthcare specifically or not, that's fine. But In particular, we want to foster those close relationships within the LGBT community here. So that can relate to just having social events like going out to happy hours or going to movie nights at one of our apartments. But we think that building and fostering that community is especially important for the LGBT community, and that's one of our goals here, is to develop these places where we can build those connections and work better together for the things that we care about.
Yeah, and just to reiterate Danny's point, so when I was in your shoes and trying to decide which schools to pick and going to a lot of second looks or revisits, one of the most important questions in my mind was how supportive and how active is the queer community at this school. And I think speaking kind of like for myself and also kind of on behalf of Pride Alliance, there is an incredibly strong queer community here, and we welcome you all with open arms, and yeah. It's a good place, and yeah, again, my closest friends are in Pride Alliance or in the queer community.